What is happening, everyone, and welcome back to the second season, episode 1 review of Harley Quinn of the DC Universe app. I am Black Bane, along with...
God damn it, he's gonna do this the whole review. I'm Winston A. Marshall, the swaggy blerd.
What is the problem? Black Bane Chronicles. I'm going through a lot.
Are you? Are you going through a lot, Bane?
Yes. It is a lot.
What are you going through?
I can't get to these smoothies.
Because you blew up the smoothie place.
Why
am I buying into this? I'm not playing this game with your dumb ass.
According to Todd. It is Todd's fault.
Look
into the camera.
I'm looking into the camera. Look, I'm just saying that I appreciate the fact that I know they were already working on this as is, but I appreciate the show came back as fast as it did. Because Season 1 just ended. So for this to come out so quickly is exactly what we need.
Well, it means that they were working on it while Season 1 was coming out.
I mean, I'm aware. And it also means that they I can't look at you with that fucking thing on. Anyway, long story short, they have brought out the second season, and I think...
Is it the hat? Is it probably the hat? Is this better without the hat? The episode begins with the destruction of Gotham. Things have gone crazy since the Joker caused a massive earthquake. The President of the United States even said that Gotham is no longer a part of it. We see a dog, 2 dogs fighting over a man's arm. What happened to the people? And then the people are fighting over the other man's arm. It is very, very sad. I don't know how I'm going to do this. All right, look, long story short, Gotham is no longer part of the United States. Gotham has gone to shit, and that's where all of a sudden all the henchmen have decided, or not the henchmen, all of the supervillains have decided they're going to break up the city into their own quarters. But even Ivy was trying to tell Harley she should make a claim for the city. And she decided no, she's just going to do her thing, roll her with her anarchy, and that's when all of a sudden in busts in some of Penguin's goons saying, Penguin runs the mall now. As Harley, I forgot, brings in, she goes, I brought dinner, she throws some steaks to the hyenas, and then she throws a dude out to the people, and Dr. Psycho's like, we eating people now? How come the fucking hyenas get steak and we get a person? Like, what the fuck is this? Was like, I was really expecting to eat him. I had sushi earlier. But it turns out he's a sushi chef. He's Michelin starred, so he's actually just making sushi for them going forward. Can you imagine being Harley Quinn getting to eat sushi from a Michelin star chef? We should find and kidnap a Michelin star chef. He can be for the people. No? So, ultimately, as the Penguins men bust in and say, we own the mall, now they go, Harley's like, no, fuck that. This is my turf. It's been my turf for a while. We've been here since before all this. Then all of a sudden, in busts, some of Two-Face's goons, too? Two-Face's goons. And so, she finally is like, fuck this. All right, I'm going to go deal with this. So, she ends up going and talking to the goons. They were like, we still work for these people. She's like, nah, fuck that. We need some anarchy. But then there was one goon was like, I identify as a henchman. Yeah, she keeps saying, all right, goons. And they're like, I identify as a hench. So she starts going, all right, goons and hench. And hench. So you don't need to work. You don't need to work for them anymore. You don't need to fucking follow them around. Like, do your own shit. Hey, I'll leave for a moment to let you get back to the regular broadcast. No, it's fine. If you're here, it's fine. Just be here.
Hey, Winston. Good to see you.
I hate you with all of my heart. So, we end up back with Harley. We're in the bar. She's telling them, y'all don't need to work for these cats. You can do whatever you want.
And they decide to really rise up. They're like, yeah, we ain't got to, ain't no order anymore. Because there's no Legion of Doom. And due to that...
but not just that. There's also the level of, like, they kill you for no reason.
Yep.
The only reason that they have a footing is because of y'all. So fuck that shit. Mm-hmm. Do you. So the first thing we come to is Two-Face is about to rob a bank because all these dudes have decided to rob on their own.
His
homeboy just goes, nah, first of all, we ain't doing none of that shit. He's like, wait, what the hell? He goes,
what the fuck? Two-Face is like, what the fuck?
We don't work for you no more. And then the bank guy goes, oh, so wait a minute, I'm confused. Are you robbing us, the bank? Or are you robbing Two-Face? We're not sure. Besides, the bank was just robbed by like 12 other dudes about 15 minutes ago.
So you're a little bit too late.
Then all of a sudden, here comes the Riddler on the TV, and he's like, "Riddle me this, Gotham." When all of a sudden, another dude pops up. He goes, "Answer this question." He goes, "Who the fuck, Frank?" And he's like, "No, I am the Inquisitor."
Which comes back later, because Harley Quinn is, I'm telling Ivy them, yeah, I fought like 17 different question-based dudes.
Which is, this is Harley's fault, because she says, "You don't need them, they are you." And she goes, the one hench goes, "So wait, are you telling us that we should become the Riddler? Or we are the Riddler? Or what is this exactly?" So it's starting to bite in the ass because you have dudes that can't come up with original ideas.
Well, his name is Craig. He's like, "Craig? Who's this Craig?" "I am the Inquisitor." And so, even that also, we get the introduction of Mr. Freeze, which I am so psyched. It's voiced by Alfred Molina. There is none better right now. And, you know, he walks in, they was like, "Oh, so this is the shit." And basically, it was, what did he say? He was like, "Where's your dude?"
Well, no, not before that happens. He freezes the door and busts it the fuck in, and he goes, "Yo, what, you can't use the door." And he goes, "Your door doesn't work." He goes, "It's a push." "Oh, my bad."
"Oh, my bad." Right. "Oh, my bad." "You don't have any goons?" "I don't need no fucking goons."
He's like, "I'm not a supervillain. Like, I don't do criminal stuff. I'm just trying to find a cure for my wife." "And how do you pay for it?" Criminal activity. Okay. So they realize, you know what, we fucked up. This is because Harley was talking to them. We should have invited Harley in the first place. So they invite Harley. They go, "Hey, Harley, welcome to the Injustice League."
Wait, we even had time to get a banner made.
And they was like, "You had time to get a banner, but you didn't have time to get another chair. You got to put me in a fucking folded chair."
we knew that, babe. It's like, we knew that, but, you know, we just decided.
You would get frustrated to be funny. He goes, "Oh, very funny."
Very funny.
So, long story short, they show the map. The map, everybody gets a big-ass chunk of Gotham, except for Harley, who gets, like, Arkham Island, and it's, like, this fucking big. And she she smashed that shit. She says, "Fuck y'all." She bounces.
Wait, she even asked.
She tries to bounce.
Wait, remember she asked, she was like, "So, what about this bullshit? How come I get the small fleet?" Like, "Well, you would have seen if you wouldn't have destroyed the map." Because she broke the shit about the map.
So, either way, they go, "All right, well, sorry, bitch," and then they end up freezing her.
Before then, too, we also see Commissioner Gordon on the roof looking for the bat signal, hoping that Batman will show up. And then on the roof, he does see Batman. And he sees the eyes, he sees the cow. And then Batman comes in, and he's like, "Wait a minute."
Batman is like this tall.
Yeah.
And so Robin has put on the car. He's like, "God damn it, Robin, this is the bat signal, not the Robin signal." And he's like, "He's been missing. I don't know where he is."
He's like, "Have you tried to text him?" "Yes, I've tried to text him. What do you think I am, 40?
And then he goes, "All right, well, give me his number. Then maybe I'll try and text him." And he goes, "Yeah, I don't think he would approve of that. And then you'd also have my contact info. I don't need that either." So I love that Gordon is still getting shit on. So all of a sudden, Gordon's trying to rally his troops, and like because I forgot, Harley has now been kidnapped, right? So now all of the supervillains have gotten the goons back in order, and they raid the police station. And Gordon is trying to get the cops to be like, "We got this. We gonna fight through this or whatever. It's not gonna be a big deal."
Before you do that, Gordon is like, "Listen, we gotta get everything together, and there's only coconut flavored sparkling water in the kitchen." And one of the cops, Cheryl, she was like, "I kind of like the coconut." And he's like, "Oh, Cheryl." Because they remember when Two-Face comes in.
So then Two-Face busts in, right? And the two goons with him, Gordon was like, "That's bold of you, Two-Face. You can't just take over the police station." They're like, "Yeah." All of a sudden, the two goons shoot the two nearest cops in the dick. And Two-Face goes, "Anybody else want to get shot in their genitals?" Nope. They all take off running, so it's just Jim. You think Jim is about to do something hella heroic. He starts shooting and shit. They're dodging out the way. Jim just did it so he can be like, "They'll never get away with this," and then runs the fuck
and
off.
And Two-Face was like, "I already have." And then he goes and grabs the sparkling water, and he's like, "Oh, God, it's coconut."
So, ultimately, Jim tries to run away with the bat signal on a van. He gets stopped by some people in goon outfits, and it turns out that they are now, the police have turned into Bane hench people.
Bane boys.
Bane boys, yes.
But wait, it was like less than 24 hours and these things became.
No, it's been like 10 minutes. It's been like just long enough for Gordon to get the signal and put it on the van.
It just literally ran out the station. It was like, "So, Bane, you hiring? You need anybody? Hey, man, let's come through each other."
Oh my God, he's like, "It's hard out here in these streets, Gordon." So Gordon says, "Fuck it," and he throws his badge in the ocean because the bat signal's broke. And so now Penguin goes to this big gala he's hosting at the Iceberg Lounge, and he's excited. He ends up stabbing the elevator boy because too many people said hi to him. He's like, it seems disingenuous.
And the elevator boy was like,
oh, I met him.
I met him.
Which, did you notice how he died? He got stabbed in the throat.
Oh, he got stabbed in the stomach. He didn't get stabbed in the throat. He got stabbed here.
I'm pretty sure he stabbed him in the
He
throat.
stabbed him here because he was just like, because Penguin just turned around and just like,
oh,
yeah.
All right, well.
It was a reason we bring that up because so now Harley, who is in a block of ice, is on display, right? She's frozen. She's on display. And then you see all of a sudden, you see Poison Ivy come in her shroud playing poker.
No. You don't really see anything yet. All you see is Penguin wants some champagne, and all of a sudden you see this gap-toothed, ugly tooth-ass
this old slack-jawed yokel waiter with a beautiful French accent.
And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with his teeth? And then it starts to click into place. Oh my god, that's Clayface. And that's when you notice they have all come in different outfits. So the Poison Ivy is in a shroud playing poker. You have Dr. Psycho on top of King Shark, walking around as like two kids, like with the toddler stack.
It looks so bad. It looks so bad because King Shark's so wide and Dr. Psycho's so small.
And then you notice Psy is playing the piano while Penguin's giving a speech. So all of a sudden, Poison Ivy's like, "Yo, hit the they have a code name Tweet," and then what? Who said Poison Ivy's like, "I'm not saying Tweet." It's like she said Tweet.
Ah, she said Tweet. It's a go.
So Psy starts blowing gas into the room, and there's gas filling up everywhere, and he realizes he has to buy some time. So he starts singing "Happy Birthday" to Penguin.
Penguin like, "It's my goddamn birthday."
When all of a sudden he notices they have put Ivy underneath not Ivy, they've put Harley underneath. A service tent that looks like a little push cart, but it's not. It's just the block of ice sliding. So he's like, all right, get him and shit. And now we see some of the greatest violence we have maybe ever seen in this show.
This show has always had its level of violence, right? There's been no shortage of violence and what makes it an R-rated cartoon. But goddamn, in the 5 to 7 minutes of them pushing the block of ice, knocking people out, killing people, crushing people left and right.
Just biting people in half. Even fucking Clayface and Dodger Bullets would be like, ha-ha, and punching people upside the head.
Remember, Ivy told them they gotta be real sensitive with the block of ice because Harley's life is on the line. And this just smacking in the walls.
Just smacking in the walls. Fucking throwing her downstairs. Using her to smash people. So eventually they get her face off and the part of the ice off her face so she can talk again. And then they get her like swinging arm out, so they're sliding her down the hallway. She's breaking niggas' legs with a baseball bat with one arm. And ultimately, she ends up sliding into a room right back into fucking Penguin's face. And the rest of the crew gets locked outside. And now Penguin's like, you were the problem. See, here's the thing. You were a fucking goon.
You were Joker's
but you were a mistake. You were an evolution of this shit. And I gotta put this a mutation.
When he got a mutation, I was like, God,
I know.
Damn.
I gotta put it down. So right as he's about to fucking he puts the knife to her first she tries to hit him with the bat.
He breaks her bat.
And he's like, see.
Without that, without that bat, you're just a little girl, a little gymnastics girl. Because remember, he starts shooting the umbrella and she's flipping around the casino.
Right. Well, no, she hasn't gotten free yet. Doesn't she bite off the nose beforehand?
No,
she has to be super close to him. Remember, so he gets hella close with the knife.
Oh yeah, she's still tied
him. She's got a knife to his throat. She bites his fucking nose off.
The whole nose.
And he's like, that was my best feature. So she ends up getting free. She's hopping around. The bat's broken. Don't know what's gonna happen. But unfortunately, because he shot so many grenades, there's smoke everywhere. She starts doing that Batman shit where you just hear like a bunch of like random laughing
voices in
different places. Shows up behind and stabs that nigga right in the throat.
Not even the throat, the chin. Nigga, she went straight up in his motherfucker's head. He was like, "Oh, well, it's not gonna get much worse. It does. It gets worse. It gets worse." She goes,
I would close your eyes. Then it rips the bat out. Just explosion of blood everywhere. And the Penguin is now dead. Which is wild because, the Joker, you can assume one way or the other. We saw a hand pop out, right? And all that. But the one thing that happens in Batman lore at all, any of this stuff, villains don't really die. And if they die in ambiguous ways that they might, somehow they survived a 20-foot cliff or like a 20-story cliff fall. Something like that. Something magical happens. This nigga got stabbed in the fucking throat and bled out.
Not even stabbed to the point where you'd be like, oh, he gonna make it. Because, you see some people get stabbed here. You'd be like, they gonna survive.
He bled the fuck out. So
they killed the Penguin.
They killed the Penguin, and so then you end up with Harley going back and being like, she's like, thank you, Ivy, for saving me. She's like, girl, you've been out for months. It hasn't been like
she
a
was
couple
like,
of days.
She was like, how many hours have been out? It was like, they were like,
a couple of months.
But no, because she was like, we got to break this into it easily. And Clayton was like, you're out for months. She was like, yeah, you've been out for like months, like 2 months.
Like, we tried multiple plans. It wasn't until we got to my plan that it came together. That's why I had to come up with the Penguin only hires the highest of servants. So I had to come up with Francois, the French waiter.
My character, he struggled all of his life to make it.
I don't have time for that shit. So what's the deal? What's going on? And that's when you look out at Gotham, and the plan on the map actually happened. They broke it up into different sections. She goes, well, fuck this. We ain't letting the system go back. We're going to break this shit down. And the last thing you see in the episode, you got some medics at a tent, and they're like, we did pull Batman out of the river. The swelling should be down by now. So let's see what's going on.
They took the bandages off his face, and he's like, oh, shit. It's Bruce Wayne.
He's been in a coma this entire time, and now that they have the swelling's gone down, they can see his face. Some of these medics know who Batman is, which who knows how that'll play out.
That's always the interesting thing. Like, you see some TV shows or some, superhero shows where the majority of people that know the identity of the hero either team up with him or end up dying.
You know what's interesting? I've completely forgot. I tried to say that we haven't killed any major characters. They murdered the fuck out of Scarecrow in the end of last season.
Oh, they
remember?
Did. Yeah.
Joker murdered the shit out of him.
Yeah, but that was the way he murdered wasn't as bad as like.
But I mean, when we talk about how the Rogues Gallery doesn't ever die.
Oh yeah,
they always just kind of end up incapacitated and then show back up.
Sit up and
this is actually that takes a little bit of the sting of the Penguin out, a little bit, because I forgot Scarecrow got murdered.
Yeah, they did murder Scarecrow. So, but now, like you said, back to Batman. People know who Batman is. The question is, you've had medics who found out who Batman is before, and they've managed to keep that secret. Let me ask you a question. If you found out Batman was Bruce Wayne, what would it take you to keep quiet?
I mean...
Because are you just going to be like, hey, man, you good? I ain't going to tell nobody.
I don't know. I mean, I guess, because you could go with the route of The Dark Knight. When old boy was about to do it, he's like, so wait a minute. You want to go with the guy with the most money maybe in the world, and with all sorts of gadgets, and with a proclivity to dress up in a costume and beat the ever-loving shit out of somebody, and you want to go and like run his identity in these streets? And let's see how that plan works out for you. You know what my nigga said? Nah, never mind. Only reason he decides to then go on TV and potentially say it is because the Joker's like, give me Batman or I'm going to fucking...
Yeah.
And so he finally decides he's going to do it. But otherwise, he decides, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that shit. So that probably would stop me.
What, the whole, like, oh, he can pay for my death or something like that? Or he can pay me off? Because remember, he was like, I want $10 million every year for the rest of my life.
And he's like, so you want to blackmail a nigga that likes to beat the shit out of people for fun?
Right. You're saying that this is what he does, right? And your plan is to blackmail him. Okay, tell me how that works out. Like, this motherfucker appears out the shadows. He is the real life cartoon Darkwing Duck. You know what I'm saying? Sleeps right in the shadows, Darkwing of the night. But that's
Darkwing Duck, nigga.
I know. I said he was like Darkwing Duck. I said he was
Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck.
That's how we feel about the season premiere. We want to know what you think about the season premiere of episode 201.
What would you rate it?
Oh yeah, we do. We ain't done these in a while. On a scale of 1 to 5, this gets a 5 out the gate. This kept up with everything that Harley Quinn has been, and has stepped it up a little more. So that's the best way I can describe it.
I'll give it a 4.5. It's not that I don't like it. I like it a lot. I'm because we've been introduced before. I know that you have to spend this first episode establishing what we're doing. I'm excited to see where we go from here. But the jokes hit just the same.
Yeah, I think the reason the reason I gave it for a 5 is kind of what you're saying, but because we've already had this bar. This has already been this bar.
You're saying the fact that they maintained it.
They maintained it. Yeah. They had a great season finale to capitalize with a great season premiere, so it's great. But we want to know what you think in those comments below. So like, subscribe, click on the notification bell. Did you rock with the season premiere? Or are you not rocking with it? Are you like, damn, this is probably might be a little bit too much? We want to know, all right? Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington. You can see it right there below how to spell it, all right? The Patreon, the Supervillain Squad, patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. Also, check out the Mad Titan podcast everywhere you get your podcast from. You already know the drill with that.
I mean, same shit for me at the Swaggy Blerd. Same thing you see right there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. YouTube, patreon.com/swaggyblerd, all that good stuff, letterbox, all the goodness. But yeah, well, I guess we're back doing Harley Quinn season 2, y'all.
There's one more thing. Make sure you check both of us out on our Blerds in the Hood YouTube channel, youtube.com/BLERDS, the letter NTHEHOOD. All right, make sure you check that out and like our Facebook page too. We go live every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Pacific, man. So go ahead and come join in that. We have a lot of fun. All right, we will holler at you guys next week. We get to say that again.
Yes, we do.
All right, take care. We out here. Bye.